Sarandegwa, Managing Director, Brighter Monday, Kenya. This report this morning that we have unveiled is a critical milestone in the process of the program that we have, Genkazi. So we have been committed to upskilling the youth, and in that journey, we did want to understand what the challenges were, where there's available quote unquote talent of our youth that are completing higher education, ready for the workforce, but then employers consistently do let us know that they're not finding the right talent. And so this report is a really good eye opener for us to see what those missing aspects were. And I think what has become clear is that there's both a gap in both the technical and soft skill side. And so with the majority of the youth going through education and not actually receiving the skills that are in demand in the market. And one of the key recommendations and even discussions that we hope to follow up from here is what are the opportunities both for public sector and private sector to be able to collaborate, to build programs that are aimed, one, at bridging this gap. How do we figure out from a curriculum perspective, how do we build the right curriculum that is informed by the trends that we're seeing in the job market, right? And then second is how do now private companies that are already in demand and need these skills and need these people on board, when they can't wait to find the right people later, what are some of the programs that they can develop internally, be it apprenticeships, graduate programs that they can develop to be able to then nurture, train, and get the right people into their organizations. So overall, quite impactful, because what we have seen is while the skills that we train under our Genkazi program are critical and relevant, fundamentally from a foundational perspective, there's still quite a gap when it comes to how prepared and aligned our youth are being trained by institutions for the job market that's here.
I need to, um, Mr. Brian.
Yes.
Out of the report, and I believe you interacted with it,
Yeah.
sitting at the heartbeat of Kenya, from a bird's eye view.
Yeah.
What do you think are the right processes to build the future of work?
Okay, thank you so much. My name is Brian Mlama. I'm the County Executive Committee member in charge of talent, skills development and care, Nairobi County. I want to appreciate the question, and I want to also acknowledge the work that has been done by Bright Amante. No, they've taken their time to come up with proper data. They've done qualitative and quantitative research methods. It's a mixed method of research, and I want to appreciate because if you check the report, you can acknowledge that so many gaps have been identified. And as a government, we need now to come in and find who's the best way to come and fill this gap. And we are probably, when it comes to policy level, I would say we are more than ready to make sure that we provide the right policies to ensure that young people, who are 70% of the population, are ready just to meet the right qualifications for the particular work that they want to do. This report that has been done by Bright Amante is one of the reports that we need to make sure that all the government offices can have this report at their table, just to make sure they interact with it every day. Because I want to say, as Nairobi County government, one of the things that we're doing at the moment is make sure that when we're doing any advertisement for any employment within the city, we make sure it's 30 years and below, because they're the majority young people. You remember during the demonstrations that we are having the other day. I know this report is just timely to give us why are we having these demonstrations within our country, because young people are feeling they've been left out. They're not part of the society. And this particular report, this particular data is trying to address how we're going to incorporate. Is it about the gaps that we're having, the skills gap that we're having? What is the problem that we're having? So I talked about the digital. You can see, like, within Nairobi County government, most of the time, we've allowed young people on Saturday and Sundays to come and do their content within the city, and it's free of charge. If you come to Nairobi City County over the weekend, you find over 10,000 young people doing their content. And when we were doing this, when the governor declared that it's free and they have to come, people were asking, why are we not generating revenue out of this? And today I can tell you we've not generated revenue out of that content creation, but we can tell you that it has placed Nairobi in a global market, the content that is being done within the city. So I want to say we need just to engage the young people. They need to take the center stage of every development. They need to be incorporated in every aspect for them just to bring transformation in this country, because they mean well for this country. Yeah.
I think you can exchange if you can tell us your name, but from a national perspective, how do we advance gender responsive policy around workforce?
Okay, my names are Nancy Chebet-Sitonik from the State Department for Gender. As you know very well, gender is about inclusivity. It is about not leaving anybody behind. And now that the Pride Monday has come up with the policy and the document that we were launching today, uh, we are very pretty sure that in the future we shall not be having so many youths in the streets of Nairobi who have documents ready for employment, but they cannot get jobs just because there are some particular skills which they are missing. But now that the gap has been identified and there is a policy to take care of that, we know in the future we are going to have as many youths as possible being observed in the labor market because they will be qualified through the policies that have been made. And as a State Department, we are always making policies to ensure that there is gender equality and there is empowerment. Now that the initiative to skill the youth has been brought in place, we are looking forward to youths who are empowered to work in our labor industry. Yes.
You seem good with my questions.
Mm.
Yes. So I think one of the biggest parts of the design of the program is that we integrated both virtual and in-person trainings. So what we have seen is that for the urban areas, we have done a lot more of the virtual trainings through the online classes that we offer. And then once we start moving into the peri-urban and rural areas, a lot of the focus has been on in-person. And so we work with really great mobilizing partners on ground that then are able to share that information, share the opportunity, get the people into these sessions. And then we get, again, one of the key things is that the focus on inclusion as well is on making sure that we have at least 70% female participation. So all those aspects are really driven by also our partners on ground. And that's how we ensure that we are reaching the people in the rural areas. Like we said, that's the biggest gap that we have seen in terms of even those that have access to jobs, where a lot of those that have access to jobs are in more of the urban areas. And so that level of, I'd say, marginalization of being in the rural areas and or being PWD or being displaced or a refugee, those are some of the things that have then advised a lot of the approach that we have on ground that's a lot more in person, more group-based, and less virtual because, again, a key factor that also affects the level of access there is digital access for them. Awesome.
You focus more on 70% women, and you said recently there is a spark in many who have been graduating, they are male.
Yes.
Where is the space for watching?
Yes, so great question. So I think one of the things is that the reason why, again, we're not saying 100% women is because we do understand that there's also a lot of benefit in making sure that we have included the male child or at least males in this particular program. One thing to highlight there is for us to cover the same level of progress, right? So over time and over years, we have identified and have seen that female PWDs and displaced people have consistently over time been marginalized when it comes to such opportunities. And so what we're trying to do here is not necessarily wipe out or forget the boy child, but necessarily offer more opportunity for the female and the marginalized groups to be able to get a leg up to at least get us to a point where there's I would say, equitable access. But necessarily right now, the program definitely is more tuned to the female side because that's a side that has consistently been left behind. All right, thank you.
Okay, maybe I can say something about
Yes,
male
yes.
inclusion. The State Department has come up with a gender sector working group on male inclusion. That is after noticing that the male gender has now been left behind. It is not about the female gender again. So we have come up with a gender sector working group This is a group of people of diverse technical skills, and they look into the problems facing the male gender. Yeah, so it is in place. It has been launched in several counties. I don't know if it has been launched in the Nairobi County, but we have launched it, and it is now looking into the areas where male child has been overlooked in the past, so that we can bring them on board. So going into the future, we are not going to talk about female again 70%. We are going to talk about all gender, because gender is everybody. It's about men, it's about women, it's about girls and the boys, and even the people with disabilities, our widows, and our single mothers, because we also have single mothers who are not married, and they need to look after their families. So we have launched, and it has been started, and it is very vibrant. Very soon you are going to see so many programs on the male child coming on board. Yeah.